Hi, I'm Walter D. Donnie Kennedy, Chief of Heritage Operations for the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and this is Commander's Comment, the second part for our July 2022, and I'm here with Commander-in-Chief Larry McCluney for our second today and final Commander's Comment, Commander. So good to see you again, and we're going to get started. The first thing I want to do in our first segment, I mentioned something about the SCV telegraph and how all our members need to be on the SCV telegraph so they can be updated and stay up with what's going on. Could you tell us just a little bit about that and how to get on it?
Yes, somewhere like about 50% of our membership is on the SCV telegraph right now so that they can be informed immediately as things happen across the Confederation. The best way to do this to stay informed with what's going on around our Confederation is contact SCV headquarters and ask for Eric Prevetti. He's in charge of membership services. And Eric Prevetti, all you have to do is give him your email address and he can put it in the database so as things come out, you will also get that information just as soon as it happens. Call 1-800-MY-SOUTH, ask for Eric Prevetti. Or, if he doesn't answer, at least leave a message on his answering service, and he'll get back with you as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and this is important. And one thing to remember, we're not going to flood your email box with day after day after day stuff. It's only, I probably get something maybe once a week, maybe once every other week. Now, if something is going on that's a major event that we need to respond to, yes, you will get couple then. But otherwise, you're not going to hear a lot. Maybe every other week you'll hear something.
Exactly.
And a lot of divisions. I know the Louisiana division and other divisions have their own division email service. Like we have the Tiger Courier in Louisiana. So you need to be on that for your division information. This is for National Confederate information about the Confederation and things that are going on and things that we need to respond to. And we at the National cannot respond. It has to be at the local level. We can help, we can do a lot, but everything in the SCV is done at the camp level. Now, as I was saying in our opening, this is your last segment here with Commander's Comment. Larry, you have been Commander-in-Chief for 2 years. You've seen a lot. Of course, you was Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief prior to that. You've been in the SCV for quite a while now. If you don't mind, just tell us a little bit, just hit some of the high points, some of the things that really you remember of in the last 2 years, and maybe give us your vision for the future.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that 2 years have come and gone already because so much has happened. But, let's go back to the beginning. October of 2020, we opened the museum, A lot of people were there. I think the numbers that was estimated, it was my first GEC, there was somewhere between 800 and 1,000 people there for that opening. And we also, go back to the theme, they take them down, we put them up. We put up, dedicated to Jefferson Davis statue that was taken down in Memphis there.
Absolutely.
I would say the next big thing would be we had Christmas at Elm Springs in December that was highly, highly attended. And the reason why I say that is because this is during COVID. It's hard to believe. That's been a huge drawback for a lot of camps and divisions and having activities. The following spring, we have our first pilgrimage in Elm Springs, which was a huge success. Somewhere estimated like 600 to 800 people attended that event.
It looked like 1,000 to 2,000 to me when I was there.
But people are coming from all over the Confederation, bringing floral tributes to lay at soldiers' grave sites, and now, of course, with General Forrest and his wife being buried there at Elm Springs. Huge, successful event. A lot of people didn't think we could pull it off, but we did. 2,500 people there.
How many rioters did we have?
None. And it was a gorgeous dedication. the monsoon came through, but in my speech I said it's always rained before or after, but never during a Confederate funeral.
That's right.
The sun came out and it got hot.
It
got hot.
It did.
But it was a success. It was a success. I cannot believe we did it. And Metairie, my first reunion, Jason and I said what the Confederation needs is a boost in arm and morale. We've got to pump people up. We've got to get everybody excited. We've got to be positive going forward. We cannot be distracted by the negative things that happen around us. We got to just keep going forward with this organization to accomplish our goals. And people, Metairie was sold out.
It was.
It was sold out, packed. Everybody left with an uplifting. It was almost like a revival they just left. Everybody was telling me how positive that reunion was. And not only that, we raised over $200,000 for the museum.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the second pilgrimage. It's going to be an annual event now. And also, let's close that with the pediment. Great success.
Right.
And I forgot, this past March, we've got Forrest's statue out.
That's correct.
And that's going to be the next phase. We got to repair the statue. That won't happen in my administration. And then, the last thing I'd like to mention is, 2 years ago, when I first took over in October at my first GEC meeting, the museum was empty. I mean, we've got countless artifacts, and the world is starting to recognize our museum because we've got some very rare items there that nobody. The vest of General Forrest that he wore at Bryce's Crossroads with his blood in it. Yep. We have these things, and we've got more things planned for the future, but we can't do it without you.
Amen.
My success is your success because I could not be successful without you, the membership.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to dovetail onto the museum, the museum is probably one of the best pieces of, you may say information, I call it propaganda. It gives our point of view. And not only to people who are going into the museum and seeing it, but we hopefully in the next year we're going to start doing some nationwide advertising for that museum. Come see the only pro-Confederate museum left in America.
Yes.
And it's run by the Sons of Confederate Veterans.
And it tells our story, the true story.
So not only will we advertise, get people come see the museum, but most importantly, they'll hear about the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And when they go on the website, they'll see information about Sons of
Donnie,
Confederate Veterans.
let me close with this part. The museum is probably the greatest monument that we have raised to remember our ancestors.
That's correct.
I mean, think about it. We are continuing the charge here by telling our story for future generations. That museum fulfills that charge.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to say, you were talking about the negative. There was no negative out there. You're right, because Ron and I just recently did a survey in Louisiana of Republican voters, conservative voters, and it was 97 to 99% very positive pro-South feeling.
Yes.
I would like to see that poll replicated in every southern state, and then let our political establishment know that we are on the side of the population and they had better quit joining the woke mentality. And it can't be done unless the SCV gets involved at the local level. And we can do this because the people are on our side. We've just got to tap into that. This museum is part of that.
Yes.
Our effort in the Confederate Legion in promoting the positive view of the South, all that is part of the SCV outreach to get our message to general public. And as we said before, Commander, we can win. And if not us, who? And if not now, when? And with that in mind, we're going to stop here. And Commander, It's been a pleasure. God bless you,
Thank you.
and God
You're
bless
not getting rid of me that easy.
Absolutely. People may not realize it, but this young man here will be on the GEC as a voting member for the next
6
years, 3 terms. So every past commander-in-chief remains on the General Executive Council for 3 terms. That way, what his input and his knowledge is still there with the GEC to assist as well. See, who will be the other voting? I know Paul
Gramling and Tom Strain.
So we'll have 3 past commander-in-chief that are voting members on the GEC, which is your board of directors for this organization.
Yeah.
So we look forward for another year and 2 of working together, and I think that we're headed in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to just, persevere?
Endeavor to
persevere, and we must do that. We do it not so much for ourselves, but for our children and our grandchildren, so that they too will know the true history of the South and understand that the South is much more than just a quote civil war or all that evil stuff. It is a noble place that is really fundamental to American history. All traditional American values can be found here in Dixie, and we're going to continue to defend it.
Amen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.